Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into a special group of verbs that are honestly absolute game changers for sounding more natural in English. I'm talking about causative verbs. Think of them as your secret weapon for talking about actions you arrange for instead of things you do yourself. So you ready? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in this exact situation? You tell someone, "Oh, I cut my hair." But what you really mean is you went to a salon and paid a professional to do it. It's super common. And this is the perfect example of where a causative verb makes you sound way more precise and, well, more like a native speaker. It's a tiny change, but wow, it makes a big difference.
So, here's the game plan for today. First, we'll cover what these verbs actually are. Then, we'll get to know the four most important ones in their active form. After that, we'll look at a really cool passive twist, expand our skills a little more, and I'll leave you with a super handy cheat sheet that puts it all together.
All right, first things first, let's build our foundation. Section 1. What are we even talking about when we say causative verbs?
You know, the clue is right there in the name. They cause something to happen. So instead of you doing the action, you're the one who arranges it, or maybe forces it, or even just allows it. Basically, you're the director of the movie, not the actor on screen. You make it happen.
Okay, now for the main event. It's time to meet the four heavy hitters of the causative verb world: make, have, get, and let. Honestly, these are the ones you are going to be using all the time.
First up, we've got make. I want you to think of this as the force verb. When you make someone do something, they usually don't have much of a choice. And check out how simple the structure is. It's just make, then the person, and then the basic form of the verb. No to or anything extra.
You can really feel the meaning here, can't you? The employees, they probably didn't want to work late, but the boss used his authority to compel them. The boss caused the action to happen. It's super clear and direct.
Okay, moving on to our next verb, have. Now, this one is way less about force and much more about giving someone a responsibility or a job to do. You're arranging for something to be done, usually by someone you're paying or instructing. And look, the structure is exactly the same as make.
See? You didn't force the mechanic, right? You hired them for a service. You gave them the responsibility of checking your engine. This is probably the most common way we talk about arranging for services.
All right, next up is get, and this one has a really interesting twist. It's a lot like have, but it implies that you had to persuade or convince the person a little bit. And this is important. Pay close attention to the structure because it's different. With get, we need to add to. You get someone to do something.
This is a perfect example. It tells us the committee wasn't an automatic yes. She had to work for it, convince them, persuade them. She got them to approve it. That little word to carries a lot of meaning there.
So let's just put these two side by side for a second. Have is about assigning a responsibility, and it sounds a little more formal. Get is about persuading someone, and it's definitely more informal, more conversational. It's a subtle difference, but a really powerful one.
And the last of our big four is probably the easiest one, let. This is all about permission. If you let someone do something, you're simply allowing it. And the structure goes right back to being simple. Just let, the person, and the base verb.
This is such a classic example, right? You didn't force your parents or have to convince them for hours. They just gave you permission. They allowed it. Super straightforward.
Okay, you've got the active forms down. Now it's time to level up your English with a really common, really useful structure called the passive causative. This is where you're going to start sounding incredibly natural.
And you know what? The formula for this is so simple. It's just 3 easy steps. You start with either have or get, then you say the object, the thing receiving the action, and you finish with the past participle of the verb. And notice who's missing? The person who actually does the action? They're not even mentioned, because they're not the focus.
This brings us right back to that haircut example from the beginning. Instead of saying, I'm going to cut my hair, you'd say, I'm going to have my hair cut. Just like here, I'm going to have my car washed. The important thing is my car and what's happening to it, not the person doing the washing.
And of course, it works exactly the same way with get, which, like we said, just feels a bit more casual. We got our roof repaired. The focus is on the roof and the fact that it's fixed. That's the whole point of this structure, to put the spotlight on the object and the result, not the person doing the work.
Awesome. We are on a roll. So let's add one more very useful verb to our toolkit and then take a quick look at how all these verbs work in different tenses.
And that verb is help.
It means exactly what you think, to assist someone. But what's really cool about help is how flexible the grammar is. You can say, I helped him carry the bags, or you can say, I helped him to carry the bags. And guess what? Both of them are 100% correct. So it's a very forgiving verb to use.
So, you might be wondering, how do I use these in the past or future? Well, it's actually incredibly easy. You don't change the main action verb at all. You only change the causative verb. So, yesterday, we had the food prepared. Right now, she is getting her nails done. And tomorrow, I will get the car fixed. It's that simple.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground. So now, let's pull everything together into one simple, easy-to-read summary. This is the slide you are going to want to screenshot. This is your go-to guide.
And here it all is. Everything in one place. For the active voice, you've got make to force, have for responsibility, get to convince, let to permit, and help to assist. And then for that super useful passive voice, you just use have or get plus the object plus the past participle anytime you arrange for an action. Save this one. You'll thank yourself later.
So there you have it. You are now equipped with one of the most powerful tools for sounding fluent and natural in English. The only question left is, now that you know the rules, what amazing things are you going to get your English to do for you? Thanks for joining me.